The fire came from the mountain. It tore through the forest like a living beast, burning every leaf, every root, every nest. My people cried for help. But no help came. Not from the sky. Not from the stars. Not from AA. The flames spoke of change. The world went deeper than anyone imagined. Protect your sister. Yes, sir. Stay in the cover. What does Dad always say? We stick together. No, the other one. Never quit. That's right. Sully's never quit. The Nosick's voices echoed against the crackle of fire. Their forest was dying, and still, they swore to hold on. What if every human could breathe here without a mask? Then the Nosick's people would be gone. The fire wanted to spread across the world. And to fight fire, you needed warriors. Scene shift. A jungle river. A ramshackle boat. A crew that shouldn't exist. Doug slapped a script onto the deck. We're going to reboot Anaconda. Indie style. Running gun. No studio. No rules. Kenny adjusted his camera. Claire sharpened her courage. Darren pretended he was ready to act. What do we need? Someone asked. A riverboat. A script. A snake handler. And a real snake. They found none of those things. The jungle had its own answer. The jungle always has an answer. Howdy, said a man none of them recognized. This is Anaconda. And you no longer have a snake for your snake movie. The crew stared. The river was too quiet. Then the water moved. A ripple. A shadow. A mouth wide enough to erase a man. Oh my God. My Anaconda. The camera kept rolling as reality became their set. Now they weren't making a movie. Now they were living it. Far from the jungle, another mission burned into motion. Colonel Baker studied a map under a flickering light. 3 days ago, I lost my green berets. Valley here. Dense. Hostile. We drop you in to find them. Someone laughed nervously. Hostile how? Baker's eyes said more than his words. Prehistoric. The team was flown in. Dropped. They were hunters, until they weren't.
The jungle screamed.
Not human. Not bird.
A raptor shape in the dark.
A shadow with teeth. We can't continue the mission. We're down to 2.
Emergency extract. Note en option.
Their radio crackled. My mission is to get my men home, not fight dinosaurs. But the valley had other plans. Johnny Cage leaned back in a leather chair.
You're a Johnny Cage.
I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. They should reboot it. Nobody wants that. 90s are dead.
A voice boomed.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight. He blinked. Tell me you're not some crazy fans. The ground shifted.
The air tore open.
Suddenly, he was standing in a circle of fire. Warriors at his side. A tournament older than history. This is Mortal Kombat, someone told him. It's a fighting tournament.
To the death.
Yeah, no.
Était savoir for the FATE of my world?
Count me out. I'm an actor. I don't have lightning hands.
I'm not a champion.
A figure with burning eyes hissed.
You will fight. Or you will die.
Johnny clenched his fists. All right, you big ugly, showtime. The sea churned. The smell of salt and storms filled the air. Percy Jackson held his breath. The sea of monsters, he said. Are you sure you're ready? Annabeth asked. He nodded, though he wasn't sure at all. Gods, monsters, destiny. It was too much for one boy. But the world didn't wait for him to grow ready. The world was already breaking.
Another world, Dark Estille. A barren déserte. Two suns en et vie in the sky.
A hooded figure stood on the ridge. So this is your first hunt, the old warrior said.
UVE comme tous the most dangerous planet in the universe.
The young hunter adjusted his mask.
And the prey.
Not prey. Not really.
The apex predator. Can't be killed.
The ground shuddered.
The wind cut sharp.
The hunter realized, the lesson wasn't about killing. It was about surviving. And he was not alone. Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation.
A temple stood broken against the skyline.
Bones hung from its gates.
Inside, shadow whispered. He opened the door of heaven and hell. The walls bled with light. He opened the door. The world shook with what came true. Far beneath the wasteland, another voice.
I'm looking for someone, a wanderer said. The bartender raised an eyebrow. That's the story of every soul who walks into this vault.
Someone you love, or someone you hate.
The wanderer didn't answer. His eyes drifted to the neon sign. Fallout had swallowed the world. Only fragments remained. You want to know why it ended? The bartender said.
Vegas. It started here. The jukebox stuttered.
A song that promised luck, even as bombs had fallen. The wanderer tightened his grip on his weapon. He wasn't here for luck. He was here for truth.
A massive body cut through the sea.
Not a whale. Not a shark.
Something goldy.
This is the perfect place for our superior salmon to grow, said a voice over a glass window. But the water roared back. The Kraken had no patience for human experiments. Back in the city, a child whispered to her mother.
There's a monster under my bed.
The mother smiled, tired. There's no such thing. But the door opened, and the monster walked out.
Somewhere else, alarm screamed.
When did the outbreak start?
No one knows. A soldier stared at the steel doors.
This was military storage once. And now it's full of something worse. A deer walked past them. Straight into an elevator. That's not natural, someone said.
No, another whispered.
That's war.
The sea again. Wave carrying broken men.
We can't be the only ones left, a voice said. The shipwreck groaned. Bodies floated like driftwood.
Something circled beneath.
Not just one. Dozens. Never seen a shark like that before. The survivors clutched each other.
The battlefield wasn't the sea.
It was the beast inside it. And the beast was hungry. The fire had not stopped. The mountain's rage still burned. Nosik's voices prayed to Iowa, but their prayers were drowned in the roar of flame. Sully's never quit, Jake whispered, clutching his daughter close. The forest cracked and fell around them. A world was ending, and still they had to fight. The Nosiks had always known men would return. Now men came not only with machines, but with hunger for more. They wanted the air, the water, the roots. To live here without masks. And if they did, the Nosiks would be gone. The Anaconda crew stumbled through vines and mud, their camera still rolling. Doug, this isn't a movie anymore. Claire screamed. But Doug kept directing. Action. Put your face next to the snake. Give me fear. Give me despair. The river bubbled. The anaconda rose, coils like steel, eyes cold. They ran. Branches snapped. The jungle laughed. Then Kenny tripped, camera flying. The snake lunged. Only Darren's shout saved him. Over here, ugly. The snake turned, jaws wide. A gunshot cracked. The anaconda screamed, twisting back into the river. From the shadows, a soldier stepped forward. Green beret. Mud-streaked. Alive. You shouldn't be here, he told them. This jungle isn't yours. Behind him, the ground shook. Another roar. Not snake. Not dinosaur. Something worse. Johnny Cage wiped blood from his face. You know what? This isn't even my worst audition. Opposite him, a four-armed monster laughed. You will die, Cage. Johnny spat. Everybody's a critic. He ducked, rolled, struck fast. The crowd screamed. Flames lit the arena sky. Somewhere in the smoke, Raiden's voice thundered. This war is greater than one fight. The realms bleed into each other. The end is coming. Johnny barely heard him. He was too busy surviving. Percy Jackson clung to the mast as waves towered over him. Annabeth's sword flashed, cutting through a scaled hand reaching from the deep. This is impossible, Percy gasped. Annabeth shook her head. We do the impossible every day.
The water cracked open. A massive shadow stirred beneath the ship.
The Kraken had come. Its roar merged with the thunder. And in that sound, Percy heard destiny calling.
The young hunter's mask flickered. Its signature blurred in the dark.
He wasn't the predator. He was prey. Something stalked him through the ruins.
A roar like metal tearing. A shadow fasted déambulait.
The old warrior's words returned. You're not hunting alone. From the ridge, another hunter appeared.
Mask gleaming.
Blade ready. For the first time, the young one realized. It wasn't about one predator. It was about all of them. And the planet wasn't theirs anymore.
Inside the crumbling gates, the future screamed. Shadow poured through the crack in time. Voices layer one over the other.
The world will cease to make sense.
He opened the door of heaven and hell.
Men will no longer communicate. Skulls rattled across the floor. Light fractured into fire.
Something stepped out.
Not God. Not demon.
Something goldy.
The wanderer stared across Vegas ruins. Neon still burned faintly against ash. You want truth? The bartender asked. Here it is.
Cooper Howard. Star of the silver screen. Man of War. The bombs weren't the end.
They were the beginning. The wanderer tightened his grip. I'm not here for history.
I'm here for my father.
Then you're already too late. From the street outside came the sound of boots.
Raider.
Dozens. Armed. And above them, the sky opened with light.
Bombs again. Always bombs. Sharks tore through wreckage.
Men screamed, vanished into red water. The survivors clung to each other. Every hour we drift further from rescue. But rescue wasn't coming. The sea had claimed them. And the beast circling below wanted more.
A faim broke the surface.
Not shark. Not whale.
Something larger.
The water boiled. The survivors prayed. Only one answer came, hunger.
The soldier slammed the steel door shut.
Something pounded from the other side. Virus or fungus? Someone whispered.
No, another muttered.
It's worse. It's changing. A deer shrieked in the distance.
Then silence.
The walls began to breathe. The child sat shaking, eyes wide. I told you there was a monster, she whispered. Her mother hugged her tight.
It can't hurt you.
But the shadows said otherwise.
The monster wasn't under the bed anymore.
The monster was in the house.
The worlds bled together.
Forest fire. Jungle. Arena.
Sea. Wasteland.
Temple. Heroes scattered.
Soldier broken. Monsters rising.
A single voice echoed through every place at once. This is not many battles. This is one war. The Gnostics clutched their bows. The Anaconda crew gripped cameras as weapons.
Johnny Cage raised the bloody fist.
Percy held his sword. The hunters readied their blades. The wanderer loaded his gun.
The survivor on the sea screamed into the storm.
Every world was collapsing into another. Every beast was hungry. Every hero was hunted. And above it all, the fire still burned.
The fire from the mountain. The purest thing in the world.
The only thing that never quit.